and we're doing our Vietnam game here today at Partizan. The liberation of South Vietnam, or perhaps not. So this is a build-up of a collection that we started the week of lockdown as a result of a manufacturer's sale. We were meeting for paint and chats on an evening to keep ourselves sane. And we've built this collection up over the last 5 years.
Right.
So we've got a fairly small table today, 12 by 6, because I'm fairly lucky to have access to a very big table down at Scarborough, run by Jerry Elliott from the Situation Room. So 2 24 by 6s. And you go, well, that's a lot of jungle. So we start with a game that we've designed, because we couldn't find anything that you would play on those kind of tables and that kind of madness. What we have is a set of rules that are umpire stroke card and dice AI. So the umpire runs the North Vietnamese and the VC, and everybody else plays Americans or Anzacs or South Vietnamese. And you have a range of missions to do. And you've got threat levels low, medium and high. And you'll deploy onto the table and get to do what you go. So we've got a set of rules which are the liberation of South Vietnam, which we've published on Wargaming's Vault as a pay what you want. You know, bit of feedback here and there. You're hopefully going to publish them a second time, and maybe hardcover in a little bit more stuff. But, you know, it's not really the real aim of it, but people have asked us what we do with it, so we might as well share it. And what you get is this kind of madness, you know. When you find yourself buying jungle by cubic meter, but it's a creative process as well, this. I love the modelling aspect. That's why I've got 1/48 scale planes, not little ones. What I haven't got today is the B-52, and I do have a B-52. The flight stand's a bit of a swine, you know, but it was originally deployed to Thailand, and there were some VC raids on the airfield, so we did play a game of that as well. It's been broke up from then, just because it's just stupid. But it's broke up and wreckaged, and we've run scenarios for that one, so you're either trying to find the avionics pod, you're trying to recover the downed pilots, all of that kind of thing. There's lots of different scenarios with it. And of course, what you do get is, once you start off, the missions change as you start to get casualties. So, and we've had good fun with it. It's definitely a really enjoyable little system, and it does look good.
So this is Mega Game, is 5 battles at Arnhem.
Right.
Different days, different times. So we decided to do Genkel Heath, which is the furthest landing zone at Arnhem. We then have Hackett's Hollow, the Battle of the Woods. On the far side of that table, we have the culvert, where the troops escape through the sewage tunnel. We have the Jeep Recce ambush. Then we have the Hartenstein, British headquarters, which is still the museum now. Then we have the Urquhart buildings, where Urquhart gets stuck overnight with a tiger and that outside, theoretically a tiger that ends up being a stud, and comes back the following morning. And then opposite that we have the famous St Elizabeth's Hospital, which is now apartment buildings in Arnhem. And all the dioramas and that are done inside. And then at the last bit is an unusual one, which is the Poles in Drell, which nobody tends to do very much, but I like the Polish figures, so with Empress doing those, they look very nice. So yeah, really good, we really enjoy doing those. It's taken about 4 years to complete, and I like to do all the diorama bits. So when you get the pictures a bit later, you'll see that every single Jeep's done different. 60 Jeeps on there, and every single one's different. There's diorama pieces on there, there's characters on there, there's TV crew on there, there's the famous Paul Sawyer from Warlord, who sadly passed away last year, well, we've got a tribute to him on there. We've got a BBC war correspondent who was there, and we use rapid fire. We've always played rapid fire, we just upgrade it from a 20mm game to 28. Yeah, because the old eyesight's going, and it's a bit better to play the 28, to be honest, yeah. We always get good reception when we come here. We don't play a game, and we never do at shows, because there's only the 3 of us. We like to talk, lay everything out, tell everybody what's going on, and just, it's a friendly show. You can just talk to people all day, really, and that's what we prefer to do here. There's other times for gaming, but not here. There's only 3 of us, and the table's too big, to be honest.
Dad's Army, bolt action based. The Seagull has landed. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's a cross between Dad's Army and Michael Caine's The Eagle Has Landed. So in The Eagle Has Landed, Michael Caine and the Fallschirmjägers were trying to kidnap Churchill, which he's trying to do the same here. Churchill turns up in his car. The Fallschirmjägers get a chance to kidnap him. He's got to get to the local town hall where there's the Highlanders waiting to protect him, which in this case he actually managed it and got away from Michael Caine. No US troops here, no Larry Hagman, but lots and lots of fun, lots of tongue-in-cheek comedy. We've had people come and throw some dice and join in. We've had people taking loads of photos of it and saying, you know, fantastic layout. We've had a couple of people saying, oh, wish we could have done this. It's like, it's took me 2 years. You know, and we've been invited back to Hammerhead to bring this game. So yeah, real positive, but the vibe always is here. Newark Irregulars, Partizan is one of my favourite shows. I've been doing shows now for over 20 years. And this is one of my favourite shows. The vibe's always great. I will do Partisans, I will do Hammerheads. In fact, I've got to do Hammerhead now because my boss, Dave at Calibre Books, is the chap running Hammerhead. But the vibe here, the vibe at Newark is always fantastic. Whether it's the gamers, the traders, everyone, the vibe is better here than the only time I found the vibe better, and this is going back a while, was Triples. And that's ancient history. I've been to other parts of the country, and yeah, the gamers are great and that, but there's something about it here. It's magical.